What's up, Gemini? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tani Michelle, and this is your reading and astrology and tarot reading for May 2020. If you're new here, basically, we are not all love, light, twin flames, and unicorns over here, so please keep that in mind. And yeah, I'm a weirdo, so keep that in mind as well. Let's go ahead and get into your reading. So the first thing that I want to ask you, Gemini, is what is the rush? What is the rush? What are you like so anxious to achieve? There's something that you are so anxious to achieve or that you're so anxious to expose. I can't figure out which one it is. But here's the thing, it's like you don't, if there's something, it's like I'm just looking at these cards and there's just like this rush or this something that you're like, I need to be there now. You're like looking at the top of the mountain from the bottom of the mountain and you're like, I need to get there now. and or for some of you it could be actually this person or something that this person has achieved, this success in some way that you're like not okay with because of something that you have or something that you've heard or something that you've gathered, and it's really kind of, there's like a rush, there's kind of like a drive to do something, but it is you're not quite there yet, okay? Because we start off this reading with the Ten of Cups and the King of Pentacles. So this is somebody that's pretty successful, that's pretty happy, that's like living the life. They've achieved something, that they're pretty okay with, like they've achieved something pretty decent for themselves. And then we have this Knight, not very happy about it. He's like rushing over, like, you mother effer. How dare you? Or like just very anxious to kind of run over here to this. And behind the Knight, we have this Page of Pentacles. So the issue here is, how do we go from this to this? And it's not by doing this. I can tell you that. It's not by doing this. It's not by doing this dance. Now, do remember, this is a general reading, and it is still the beginning of May, so this, time frame could be whenever, may relate to some of you a little bit differently, that's fine. But there definitely seems to be kind of like a rush here that I'm seeing for you guys, like an urgency or something along those lines, and you need to be very, very careful with this Knight of Swords, Page of Pentacles, of who you're listening to and what kind of stock, value, or worth you're putting into your ideas or other people's ideas, opinions, concepts. You need to make sure you have the proof and the facts to back up whatever it is that you're doing or saying or communicating, or that you're believing or thinking. That's very, very huge right now because, Gemini, everything has just shifted for you. The North Node is now in your sign, okay? And it's there for the next 18 months. And it hasn't been there since like October 2001 till like March, I think around March 2003. Okay, so the next 18 months are going to be a total reconstruction of who you are as a person, how you do things, what you do, your perception of yourself and your environment and the world around you. And it's going to be very, very important that you are making sure that you have proof, solid proof, evidence, facts, logic to back up whatever it is that you say to people. I also feel like this is kind of like wanting answers in a way. Like there's something here that you may be wanting answers to do with family or to do with this King of Pentacles and this like kind of life that this King of Pentacles is living, if that makes sense. This success or this lifestyle. Now there is kind of this trickster energy to Gemini, Seven of Swords, right? where you guys are funny, you guys like to be humorous, and that's great. Every sign has a more or less like a kind of what a lot of new agers would call a, you know, basically low vibrational level. And we need that kind of duality. We need that kind of fluctuation to learn and grow. So it's not necessarily that it's bad, but that kind of level for Gemini is gossip, rumors, speaking about something, even if you don't know it's 100% right or correct or proven. So that's something that you do need to watch out for, because I feel like there's kind of this urgency, or there's this kind of rush to get to something or to do something, to get to this achievement or this place in your life, this state of being, living, and feeling in your life that feels great and looks great, and someone else could be in this state, and maybe you're comparing yourself to that person or something along those lines, or you feel that that person, something like so there's something you don't like about that person, maybe, I'm not sure, it could be different for different ones of you, but you may want to check your facts and proof. That's just what I see in your first few cards. Now, another big thing that's happening with this North Node in your sign now, Gemini, which I've been talking about this for several months, you know, preparing you guys for it, letting you know how it's going to play out, what it's probably going to, you know, kind of push your focus towards. So, another thing that I really feel I need to tell you here is to be a clear channel. So it's very important that you allow yourself to be a clear channel. And what I mean by that is, Gemini, I mean, you guys are the sign of mutable air. You know, air signs are mental, communicative, like it's all about mental stimulation, the mind, you know, anything to do with the mind and communication. As a mutable air sign for you guys, Gemini, this is a mind that is constantly changing and going. And that's who you are, that's your energetic makeup, and that's fine. But question everything, and that's what I've been telling people, you know, don't get too caught up on one thing unless you 100% have proof, but proof and facts even can change and are always changing, right? Like, and I mean, two people can witness the same thing and have a completely different perception of how it happened. It doesn't mean that one of them is lying and the other one isn't. It's just their perception. It's all about perception. And that's what you're here to learn. So question everything, question reality. You may feel like things are not happening fast enough for you, because then we go to the next two cards and we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Hermit. You know, and the first thing that came to my mind with these two cards are somebody that's very experienced, someone that's really been through a lot, someone that is very mature, someone that knows how to take care of what's valuable to them, you know, someone that knows their value, and someone that may be a little bit more closed off. So this could be an archetype of a person in your life, or because right after this we have the Four of Cups and the Chariot. So once again, there's kind of like this rush, this feeling bored, like maybe I should just, you know, rush in and do XYZ, which can kind of cause you to make unbalanced decisions. So you do want to be careful about that. But what this nodal transit, I think, is going to teach you guys more than anything is to learn from your experience. To experience instead of going by what other people say or what other people think or what you read in a book. Instead of going by other people's experiences, go by your own experience. Okay, so, and that's really what I'm getting here for you. It's like, learn from your own experience. And don't be afraid to change your mind. That's what you guys do, right? You guys are constantly taking in new information. Just make sure that you're not putting too much value or too much stock into that information, right? Make sure that you're not giving it all of what you have unless you're 100% sure. And even then, I would still keep the door cracked just in case anything else comes in. So be an open channel. Like, let information just kind of come and go. Don't cling to it, don't attach to it, don't try to change it or control it. Like, just be a clear channel, let it come in, let it go out, let it do what it needs to do, and you'll be good. That's kind of what I'm getting here so far for you, Gemini. And I also feel like there's someone that you guys are really kind of aggravated with here lately. And it could just be yourself, okay, for some of you, because we got forgiveness. And once again, I feel like this is kind of like a release, like something that needs to be released for you to let go. There is a huge focus here on like blessings and success and wanting success, and but and that comes after forgiveness. But then we have miracles. So, and then we also have patience and diligence, which both have birds in them, which I think is very interesting. So with patience and diligence, once again, like, what's the rush? You know what I mean? Like, there seems to be some kind of rush here. But with diligence, it's like I was kind of saying, look at the bigger picture, learn from your own experience, be more diligent. Don't try to take matters into your own hands as much. Try to let the information come in and run out the way that it's supposed to. But it definitely seems like there's some things that you guys are going to have to relinquish or release control of that are going to end up leading you to your blessings, to your success. There's something that you're definitely trying to hang on to big time. 3 major arcana cards and the 5 of Wands. So there's something that you are willing to argue about, that you do not want to let go of, that's kept you chained up for a long time. This is like all kind of, I want it my way, and it's keeping you stuck, honestly. It's really keeping you stuck. So you have to kind of be willing to see new sides of the situation and of all situations, because that's what's going to lead you to what it is that you desire. That's what's going to lead you to these blessings, okay? So keep that in mind. Okay, so I want to kind of take a break from this real quick and talk a little bit more about your astrology. So with the node, and another big theme that comes up for me when I was kind of taking notes on your astrology chart, so if you follow me on my other social medias, you guys know that I love Prince. I was a huge Prince fan, still am. Prince was a Gemini, duh, and I love Geminis, and so he was like really coming up when I was taking notes on your chart, when I was looking at your chart this month, and just all the crazy things that are happening. Like, you guys have Venus retrograde in your sign, and his, anniversary, his death anniversary just recently passed a few weeks ago. And Mercury's going to be moving into your sign on the 11th, and it's just so much. The nodes are in there now. So I really, like, he came to mind, and that's where I was kind of getting, like, be an open channel. Because I really do, like, I've watched interviews with him and stuff, and like, he really believed that it was almost like someone else was writing through him, like writing music through him. And so, and I kind of feel like as long as you're open and you're not clinging to any certain beliefs or opinions, then you guys will be good. And so what I wrote down for the nodal axis, which, remember, the North Node is going to be in your sign for the next 18 months. So this is going to be an 18-month long cycle, Gemini, where you guys are going to really learn a lot of different things about yourselves. Now, here are some of the things, in my opinion, that I think you guys will be learning. So I think you guys will really be learning how to let go of any dogmas, beliefs about other people or relationships that you have, letting yourself explore all of your options, questioning everything. Don't let, not letting others' opinions or beliefs sway your own. Use logic and facts more, connecting more to your environment and a community around you, letting experience be your guide, like I already said, more concerned with community and bringing people together, and that's exactly what you guys are all about, and what Prince was all about as well, bringing people together from like all walks of life. And I really see that that could be something that you guys really get into during this 18-month transit at some point. But also making connections and, being humor, like making people laugh, being humorous, learning to be more adaptable, you know, with your personality, being more optimistic, and also not letting your partners or any significant relationships in your life determine or sway your opinions and your beliefs, okay? Because that's like a big one, especially if you're a Gemini ascendant, having Sag as your 7th house. Your beliefs can easily come from other people, partners, things of that nature. So you just want to be careful with that, or your partner might have some really heavy like dogmas, biases, beliefs that you need to be careful that you're not swayed by, okay? That you're coming up with like your own way of thinking. Now, Mercury will then move into your sign around the 11th, and this is your ruling planet. So it's going to feel good. You're going to be very talkative, very social. You may feel very busy. You know, and Venus is retrograding in your sign as well, so you may be feeling like you want to change your appearance or change your style, change your vibe. You're going to be more concerned with those kind of things, you know, your appearance and how you look, the vibe that you give off to other people, you know, and how what other people think of you. Your perception could bring up some self-worth issues as well that you may need to address. But it's going to be really finding pleasure and switching things up with your vibe and how you appear and your personality, and exploring new ways, exploring new options. Some of you guys could even be, you know, exploring old thoughts or old perceptions on past relationships. And you could also be having some kind of closure on relationships this month, I feel, as well. So that's very interesting. Also, I think that you guys, you know, so towards the end of your cards here, so we have the 4 of Wands and the 7 of Swords. So the 4 of Wands is kind of like a celebration milestone usually. And the 7 of Swords could be honestly a few different things. You know, obviously he's being sneaky. Obviously he is kind of trying to sneak away with these swords in some manner. So I think that towards the end of the month, there may be some kind of event or birthday, anniversary, milestone, something that you're kind of avoiding. Okay? And I kind of feel like for some of you, this could be almost cheating yourself out of these blessings, right? These blessings, because there's kind of this other focus going on with you that's like, I need to rush, or it needs to look this way, or it needs to be this way, or if it doesn't look like this, then it's not right. Whatever the case may be. And then you also had Strength and the Ace of Pentacles fall out when I was sitting here shuffling. So a lot of yellow in your guys' reading. Wow. I think you guys are trying to get away from some kind of responsibility. For some of you guys, there's some kind of responsibility that you want to get away from, but you also want to be able to have a certain type of life or a certain type of success in your life, if that makes sense. And some of you guys want something so bad that you may kind of resort to, not all of you, but some of you, you may kind of resort to almost like manipulating the situation to get your own way. So you want to be careful with that as well, Gemini. Because, you know, that trickster in that Gemini energy, that Gemini archetype, like I said, can be funny and great to bring light to people, make people laugh, right? But also you want to be sure that you're not going too far with it, or you're not being manipulative, or you're not talking about things, gossiping, things like that. So you just want to be careful. I see a lot of you guys really wanting to travel or go somewhere. That's like a big thing that I keep seeing, that keeps popping up. It's like you just want to get away. You kind of want to get away, or you kind of want to like get away from some kind of either commitment that you have, something along those lines that you're not very thrilled about towards the end of the month is kind of what I see on a more kind of specific level. So yeah, Anyways, on the 11th this month, we have Saturn retrograde in your ninth house if you're a Gemini rising. The astrology portion is probably going to relate a little bit more closer to Gemini risings than Gemini sun. So make sure you're watching both your rising and sun sign. But anyway, so with Saturn retrograde, I think for Gemini, this is going to be really very much so about re-examining and experimenting with your beliefs, your personal views, your philosophies, your ideologies on life, your purpose, what you're here to do, the bigger questions of life, etc. And getting away from maybe groups or people that have non-factual beliefs or are too deep in some kind of beliefs or conspiracies or ideologies or concepts, whatever, with no proof that you've like experienced for yourself. Like you're just not on the same vibe with their beliefs and your beliefs anymore, or whatever the case may be. So that could be something that kind of comes up as well. Now, Mars is going to be moving into Pisces on the 13th. This is all about career and your reputation. So, you may be very called to kind of help people this month and help kind of the world in some way, or add some kind of do your part in something to help other people, to show people that miracles can happen with this miracle card, right? To show people that miracles can happen, to maybe, I don't know, help people that are vulnerable or need help in some way with Mars in your 10th. And you may be very focused on career and stuff as well. So, let's see. So Jupiter's going to go retrograde in your 8th house in Capricorn on the 14th. It's a very busy month. And when Jupiter goes retrograde, we kind of go inward to really go through our understanding on life and the bigger concepts of life. So with this being in your 8th house, there may be some things that you need to go back and address when it comes to your intimate relationships, or when it comes to your finances, your shared resources with another person. And if there's anything there that may need to be fixed in any way, or may need to be resolved or looked over in any way, if there's something there, if you're like, I don't know, sharing money with a person or a bank or whatever the case may be, and you feel or find that it's not really aligning with what you want for your life, or it's not adding something, it's not being beneficial or giving you some kind of opportunity, you may end up needing to cut that tie there. So that it could definitely bring up some things in the financial realm, especially when it comes to other people's money that you share, like loans, things like that. The 8th house deals with debt, bankruptcy, any kind of money that comes from places other than yourself, okay? And then we have the Gemini new moon on the 22nd. So it's happening in your 1st house. So brand new beginnings for you, all about you and what you want, your personality, where you're going. It's like a whole new fresh start for Gemini, okay? So I think it's all about having patience. It's like the more patience that you have, as silly as it sounds, and the more you could just look at kind of life as it's teaching you something, like you look for experience instead of, a quick fix, the more that, and that's kind of what this is, like a quick fix with the 7 of Swords here, with this 4 of Wands. It's like, kind of like this quick fix that you're wanting, it seems like in this reading. But with the Strength card and the Ace of Pentacles, it's kind of like you need to take your time, you need to become friends with with life, basically. You need to become friends with life. You need to become friends with your fears. You need to have courage. You need to have strength to have the patience and have the diligence, see the bigger picture, and that's when miracles can start to happen for you, Gemini. That's when blessings can come in. Also, forgiveness. There's definitely someone in your life here that you're having some issues with that you need to forgive, that has you a little bit like all out of whack. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. It could be someone in your family as well. There's a lot of family vibes coming up here for you guys, Gemini. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys, Gemini. Let me know down below if any of this resonated with you. I'd love to know as always. And thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next month for your birthday. Bye.